Before starting a batch render, you want to make sure that all the settings in the Common tab are set up properly. It's called Common tab because it's the same across all the different renderers. So the first thing to note is, what's the path? So this is determined by the project. You want to make sure that you've set a project that points to wherever your Maya file is and any extra files. So this is a simple organizational tool. It's really useful if you're going to be using different machines. It keeps everything organized. So go ahead and set up a project, and that will give the default path to where those renders are going to go. You see that the file name by default, before you set it, just defaults to the name of the file itself. I'm going to call this ring jump, and then change the image file format. So OpenEXR is the extension du jour, and it's a good one, especially for compositing. For simple output, 8-bit output, I still am going to stick with Ping. So this is a simple file format. It looks exactly the same as uncompressed image, but it takes up less space on disk, and it's basically universal. So I'm going to stick with Ping here. For frame animation extension, I want to go with name number dot extension. So this is your default. It'll just say single frame. You won't be able to render a sequence if you leave this on. You want to use one of these other ones, and the most fail-safe is name number dot extension. These other ones that have the extra dot, every once in a while you have something where it picks up the wrong extension, especially this one here. Windows will tank on that. But I just find this one to be a fail-safe. This is the one I'm going to go with. Now, frame padding is basically the number of zeros that you pad out numbers that aren't the full number of digits that you're rendering. So I'm rendering into the hundreds, which is 3 digits. So I basically just need 3 digits of padding. So with 3, that gives me out to hundreds. Everything's going to keep sequential in the computer. Next thing I want to do is set my start and end frame. And in this case, my cameras are all set up through the camera sequencer, and I have a script that's going to take care of this for me. But you want to go ahead and set this to whatever it needs to be. Let's say I'm rendering out to frame 90. I'll just do that. And then you want to set your renderable camera here. So whichever camera you want to output. And this, to me, is one of the big problems with Maya. You can't queue up a whole bunch of different shots at once. So you have to do that externally. And that's what I use a script to do. I'll cover that in another video. But to finish up with these, the preset that we want to use for all these projects are going to be HD 720. You can render out at 1080 if you'd like to, but 720 is adequate. So that's just 1280 by 720 with square pixels. So down here you can see that square pixels. That's pretty much it for the Common tab. Everything should be good. When you go to a final output, you want to increase your overall quality, but especially for critiques, just keep it at 0.25. It'll generally look fine.